Okay, so we're thinking about self-care this week and how to prioritize self-care, and to really make it a non-negotiable. That was what we were talking about yesterday. Put it in the diary, make it an absolute non-negotiable. And I'm following on from that, but I'm going to just take a slightly different angle, if you like, today, because what do we do when we don't achieve it? Like, what do we do when we trip up, or I hate to use the word fail because it's not about failure, is it? But when we don't achieve what we set out to achieve. And this might be in terms of your self-care, your practice, or it might just be other things that you've set yourself as a task to do and you haven't got round to doing them, or you haven't got round to doing them as well as you wanted to do. And so today is all about being kind to yourself, and not giving yourself a hard time, because I think it's really easy to give yourself a hard time over stuff that you either haven't achieved, or stuff that you haven't achieved to the level that you wanted, to the standard that you wanted to achieve. And God, we give ourselves such a hard time, don't we? Like, we really, really can berate ourselves over the smallest details. And so today is about thinking about how we talk to ourselves. Like, how kind are you to yourself? Because I know that if I'm talking to anybody else, I'm so forgiving and I'm so compassionate of everybody else. And I'm much, much better now at being compassionate with myself. But there was a time where I'd give myself such a hard time for not doing something or not achieving something that I'd set out to do. And it's rubbish. It was absolute rubbish. Self-compassion has to be right up there with everything else. You know, talk to yourself the way you talk to your children. Be kind to yourself the way you talk to your friends and your loved ones. You know, if that little inner voice is nagging you, telling you that you're rubbish or you're useless because you haven't achieved what you set out to achieve, you wouldn't say that to your best friend. You certainly wouldn't say it to your children. So why are you saying it to yourself? Why do you talk to yourself like that? It's insane, really, when you think about it. And yet we are always our own worst critics. Well, the overwhelming majority of the time. I mean, if somebody else is a worse critic to you than you are to yourself, then let me know and we need to do some work. But I just think self-compassion is just so important. So important. So there we are. I know. So yesterday we were talking about non-negotiables, and non-negotiables for self-care are absolutely essential. But self-compassion is also essential, and not giving yourself a hard time. So be kind to yourself, and make sure you talk to yourself the way that you would talk to others, and the way that you would expect others to talk to you too. Because that's it. I mean, so it's all about the energy and what we want to receive for ourselves. So be kind to yourself, and yeah, just be kind. Be kind. Just be kind. I think that needs to be the moral of the story in general, really, doesn't it? Just be kind. Okay, I'll catch you guys tomorrow.